Welcome to the Anttail Continuous Mapping demo, and this is the first screen that you'll see when you get ready to do a mapping report. So you can see here there is the monitor set, in this case the World Health Organization mapping test. There is a slot there for the tester, the individual actually doing the work, and then there is a reviewer, in this case Mark Romers at Anttail.com. Going over, you can see the temperatures, the maximum allowed at 8 degrees C and the minimum allowed at 2 degrees C. There is a reference to a time zone, and then the start date, the end date, and it shows you the actual hours that are going to be involved with this particular mapping test. So when you go to calculate the mapping data, you'll click the button, and you'll see that it takes a little time to record almost 20,000 results, and with that you will then get this report that it actually collects data as it relates to the sensor name. There's an option for location information, sensor ID, the maximum temperature experienced and the minimum temperature experienced, and the time and the minimum time, and whether the temperature is actually okay, and what the average is, and then the number of readings during that period of time. So you can see here that there is 816 samples, actually one here at 817. So you get an excellent sampling set, and you then can export this to Excel. Now, right here you can see that there is an out-of-range sensor above the 8 degrees C threshold at 8.5, and you can see when it went out, and also the fact that it is not acceptable, and then the average at 8.09. So it's very evident that there is an issue. We now go further into the Report Creation tab. Because the sensors have the ability to record events, such as door open, we can add the date and time to the report as a means of providing the reason for the change in the temperature data. We can collect ambient temperature sensor data during the actual mapping and also exclude specific sensors from the report. Again, you'll see that there is one out of spec that can be excluded. The sensors are selected to be in the report. You can then go and actually run the report. So we'll view it, and there you'll see again all the results similar to what was shown in a prior slide, again with name, specific sensor ID, and then it's going to generate a report in the form of a PDF. The nice thing about a PDF is that it cannot be edited, and all the data as it relates to sensor ID, sensor name, and then the sensor location, if it were added, is evident, and the specific calibration certificate file. All the sensors are NIST compliant, and there is a history of such information. And here you can show that there was an event during the mapping. The door open has the time, and you can see here the actual point in the data collection process that the door was left open, and you can see here that the temperature for a specific sensor is actually above the allowable range. That would be sensor Anttail 028. And then you can see a correction was made, and all of a sudden the temperatures began to drop. Take a specific review of the minimum and maximum temperatures. Again, Anttail 028 is at 8.5 C, the time, and the temperature is not okay. 25 is the lowest temperature during that period, and it is okay. So within the actual range of 8 to 2C, you can see the high is 7 and a low at 4. Further down, you get more information with averages, the number of samples taken, whether it's okay, the maximum temperature during that time period, and the average again. So again, a very complete review of the information. Here is a screen of the definitions of the min-max, max time, average, samples, and temp OK. This will help anybody that is not as familiar with the information to understand what information is actually being given. We did elect to record temperature with the ambient sensor, and you can see the ambient results as well. So now we look at the data export and the signature aspect of the report. You'll notice that all the samples have been recorded at 5-minute intervals and are contained in the file names with hash signatures. So this hash signature is extremely important because this is what makes the ability to manipulate the data virtually impossible. So every mapping test has its own hash file, and then as well as the ambient, all contained in CSV, but beyond that, there is a master file name which is hashed that these all fit within. So being able to actually manipulate this is virtually impossible, so you can be sure that this data remains valid. Now, going further, we can download all of this information in a zip file, and it does take a couple of minutes, not minutes, but a few seconds. And you can see each one of the files, and you can click on any of these to get further detail. So you have, again, a lot of backup. It's all PDF'd and also then exported in the form of a CSV file. And as we scroll down, you will see 817 readings. You can save it if you want, not save. And then you can go back into the export and bring it up as a PDF. And of course, we've seen this before, but again, it shows it's secure, saved, and that is pretty much it. You've seen the graph before, all the PDFs and the actual CSV files, the hash files, and of course the signature page. The signature page can have that of the individual doing the test, and also then the actual reviewer. Thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful.